Welcome to huevoicesdotcom, the greater reflection of you. I'm here with examiner columnist Hassan Giordano. What's going on, Hassan?
Oh, ain't much, brother. How you feel?
I'm all right. Hey, man, it's the big day coming up, General Election Day, the battle between Governor Martin O'Malley and former Governor Bob Ehrlich. What are your predictions?
My predictions right now, 3 days out, it looked very good for the former governor, Bob Ehrlich. Before, I always said towards the end that it's going to really depend on turnout. As it looks, the 6 days of early voting that we had, it seems to me, by my observations, early voting in the general election was probably almost double what we saw in the primary. So a lot of people turned out. It seemed to be a lot of Democrats turning out. The problem is we don't know which way they voted, so it could have been a lot of Democrats voting for Ehrlich. We don't know. But I know that it's going to be close. However, I do believe that the last pitch effort from Governor O'Malley and the Democratic machine by bringing former President Bill Clinton and current President Obama to Maryland may have generated enough energy for them to turn out, and their base to turn out, and vote their interest of Governor O'Malley. So I believe that he may pull it out at the end, probably to a tune of about 52% of the vote.
There are a lot of issues on the table right now during this election year, from the economy, education, healthcare, you name it. But what is the key issue that is driving both opponents?
The key issue for the governor's races this year is definitely the economy. I mean, that has to be first and foremost. And the problem exists is that we see all these negative ads about what this guy didn't do or did do in the past, and if you look at their economic records, obviously Ehrlich has him beat hands over. I mean, O'Malley came in first year and raised taxes historically to the tune of $1.4 billion. He's furloughed people for the past 3 years, laid people off. We continue to have furloughs probably over the next 30 months, they say, and there'll probably be another tax increase come 2011. So economically, I don't see how he could even be close. But again, you have people who aren't educated, who at the end of the day are just voting. They have this new slogan, vote for O'Malley is a vote for Obama, which is absolutely ridiculous. But they're voting their base opposed to voting who was best to serve their interests. And so at the end of the day, it definitely has to be the economy and jobs. Of course, crime was a factor, and former Governor Ehrlich interjected on multiple occasions about how Governor O'Malley came to Baltimore as a mayor and locked up hundreds of thousands innocent black people and then released them with no charges, but yet you still have a criminal record. So at the end of the day, that's the issue, but it's really going to depend on how well their campaigns effectively translated that into votes on Election Day.
Who are you putting your support behind?
Well, my support, obviously, it's no secret that my support has been behind Bob Ehrlich. Voted for him in 2002, voted for him in 2006. And again, I made the case late last year, earlier this year, that Kendall Ehrlich would have been a wonderful choice for the Republican nominee for governor. And so we have a laugh about that, but yes, I am supporting Bob Ehrlich.
Why?
Well, when I look at their records, and when I look at, and I've had the opportunity being politically astute and being involved with the process to not only examine their innuendos and their speeches, but also their records, and I've known each one of them. I just have the sense from the economic standpoint, from the standpoint of how Bob Ehrlich and then Lieutenant Governor Steele put a lot of money into HBCUs, i.e. Morgan State and Coppin State, and just off crime policy, that I believe that Governor Ehrlich, despite party recognition, would be the best candidate no matter what party he represented. And that's the problem today. A lot of blacks will say, I like you, I want to vote for you, but you're a Republican and I can't. And what they fail to realize is they don't know the history. Blacks were Republicans before we were Democrats. I mean, if you look at it, former President Abraham Lincoln said, it's part of my party's platform to make sure that we end slavery, where the Democrats at that time, which was called Federalists, were trying to nationalize slavery. Then in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, our black ancestors, our grandmothers, our aunts and uncles, they were Republicans until the conservative movement of Barry Goldwater and them in the 60s, which won the Republicans the South, but lost them the blacks.
On the ballot this year also is question 1. Explain question 1 for those who don't know. Explain question 1. What is it, and what is the importance of it this election year?
Question 1 is a constitutional amendment. What it does is the framers, like Thomas Jefferson and the rest of them, especially Thomas Jefferson, said basically we want to make sure that when we formulate a constitution, that the people have a right to review it and to be able to rewrite it or revise it every 20 to 30 years. So in Maryland, what we do is every 20 years, the Maryland voters have an opportunity to vote on what's called a constitutional convention. So you go to the polls. If you vote in favor of the constitutional convention, you will then elect 188 representatives from around the state of Maryland that will go to Annapolis, formulate a plan to revise the Maryland Constitution, take out things that may not be needed anymore, and add things that should be. We can deal with term limits. We can deal with the issue of gay marriage being defined between a man and a woman. We can deal with age being taken to 18 for those who are running for delegate and senator instead of them being 21 and 25. We can deal with open primary process. A whole lot of things we can deal with. Then they will actually propose these ideas and initiatives, put them back on the ballot for the Maryland voters to vote on again in the 2012 election. And again, that would have to be voted on. But what happens is this year we have to first vote for it. And what it is it deals with a plurality opposed to a majority. So what that means is that, say for instance, 100 people vote in favor of it, but 50 people vote against it. You would say, okay, it passed. But actually it goes by how many people actually came out to vote. So if 1,000 people came out to vote, but only 100 people or 200 people voted on the question, then it would not be passed even if the majority voted in favor of the ballot question. So people have to know it's there, and they have to be active by at least participating in voting for or against this question.
All right, thank you for your time. Again, I'm with Examiner.com columnist Hassan Giordano. Thanks, Hassan.
Not a problem. Thank you.
And thank you for watching huevoicesdotcom, the greater reflection of you.